Hello, welcome back. Nice turn. Got some enchantment, which I've talked about quite a lot, so I won't go over again, but we got enchantment 5. Evo to 4 for red tangle, and then back to alt 5 for globals. Throne of Air was claimed. The name of Time Squad into Air is Roman. And Throne of the First Age was claimed. Well, I will try and remember to check those in a moment. We searched for sites and didn't find any. Searched for sites and did find one. Well of Pestilence, classic. 1 death gem and spreads deadly diseases. You always love to get one of those in your territory. M.A. Cassia has a new prophet. Are those nipples or bee stings? And then we had a battle in Villia. So, same army. Versus what's left of man's army. We can see that he did in fact bring his giant, his dragon named My Giant Wheel Does Nothing into the battle, so let's see how the worms stand up against Fire Breath. You know, one of the things that this nation has really made me pay attention to is how brutal slime is. You don't really see a lot of slime. There's like a basic level 1 evocation that slimes. This guy's slimed, right? He gets -2 to his attack skill from being slimed, and then he gets an additional -2 from being slowed. Same thing for defense, -2 from slime, -2 slowed. He's lost 4 attack and 4 defense, and he gets halved combat speed. It seems like the slime lasts for like a turn or 2. I think if you look at the spell, it says it lasts longer or not, depending on how good their magic resistance is. But it's a pretty brutal debuff. Especially for single super combatant opponents, like dragons. So he did just like absolutely blow to bits an entire column of my worms, unfortunately. But he's down to 5 combat speed. He has 0 defense from being surrounded by a billion things. And that's that. That's the end of the dragon. So, good work everyone. He got off 1 Fire Breath. Yeah, I've become a slime enthusiast. Seems pretty brutal. That was Villia. You can see he did like take out a huge number of tiny worms, unfortunately. 27 of them. And we even lost 2 of our big thriving colonies, which is a shame. But we killed pretty much everything he had here. He got his god, 3 of his commanders, 4 of his commanders, a handful of knights and things. Yep. So, pretty good for us. Not so good for him. And then we're at the point in the game where you get the classic Uuodeouda experience, where redweed, Myers, and a treasure. 380 gold, water gem and earth gem, and a ring of fire. So, Ring of Fire, 15 fire resistance. That might be quite useful for us. Put it on a fire vulnerable commander when we are a bit worried. And thrones before I forget. So this turn, Throne of the First Age. Blessed troops get magic resistance and increases magic and spreads the minion 3. That's pretty nice. That's claimed by La Mancha, I think that is. And Throne of Air by Dakin. 3 air gems. Blessed troops get air shield. That'd be quite nice for us as well, wouldn't it? Minion 2. Get rid of Windmaster. Seen these guys a lot. And a ritual range. Yeah, I assume that's that throne that he was claiming with his virtue. Can see a few troops on our borders now, but I don't know, we'll just keep an eye on it. And that's it for messages. So, not doing much in terms of movements, but I am casting some spells this time. The stealth arrows are just still acolytes, either heading off to scout or picking up worms. I've got this guy picking up quite a lot of worms over on this side. He's going to become a raider to start taking some of man's provinces. And there's another guy moving currently. This guy. He will also become a raider. Everyone else is going to do scouting, or they're still just picking up worms. In Villia, we're just going to maintain the siege. Not much going on there. Down to 143 siege strength. I didn't actually read this message though, but the walls are moderately damaged, so probably next turn it'll crack open. I imagine that this fort is currently empty now. So we'll get that open next turn, storm it the turn after, that should be fine. You might even be able to move off it next turn and just storm it with like one go. If I had to guess, I'd say it definitely is empty. With that in mind, should I just move off it now? Would that make more sense to just leave it sieged by one person and head straight for man? That probably would make more sense, right? So what I'm doing here is I'm just going to move off this fort because I think it's empty. So I don't think it's worth wasting a turn sieging it. I think it's better to just push on towards man quickly since we can see his cap there. So I think that'll be okay. I'm leaving behind this guy, Cabilinus, with 3 worms. He's going to maintain the siege. And then the stealth army that was in Crystal Fields, these guys, they're going to come back and help the siege, and they're just going to sit on that. While the rest of my army moves into the cave. So it's the same setup, just with slightly fewer units. The assassins here are just going to preach, because I brought some death gems along. And I want to hand those to the assassins so that they can use Horde of Skeletons when they assassinate, instead of just doing Ray Skeleton. Because I think man is probably going to have some bodyguards on his big mages now. And that might give us an edge. Interestingly, man is also in a cave, so all of the assassinations will be in darkness. Which is amusing, I suppose. So that's all that's happening here. The big army's moving off, maintaining the siege with a limited force, while some raiders come down to pick off these provinces. And we'll try and sit on man next turn. Hopefully this goes okay. I mean, I assume I've smashed everything he has now. It'd be very funny though that if he mounts some kind of defense here, and then I can't route anywhere and I die. But hopefully that doesn't happen. We have an advantage in the cave since all of our worms are blind, which is good. Imagine getting slimed in a cave. That'd be brutal. Anyway, up here, you might have noticed from my gem count, or maybe not, that I alchemized a lot of death gems into pearls this time. I'm going to cast Strange Bedfellows, and I'm going to stick all these pearls into it. That's pretty good. Don't have to worry about that now for a long time. 16 pearls gets you 1 month, and then every additional pearl gets you an extra month. And well, so next turn we'll start getting Strange Bedfellows events, which is good. And I'm also going to agitate the mire, which will generate some corpses, and we can start feeding the worms that are currently sitting here. So this is going to become a nice little... I should probably put a dome over this next. Although, again, I'm not sure how clear it is to other people how important this province is just yet. I don't know. It'd be nice to keep domes off it so that I can teleport into this province if I need to. But we'll have the 2 big spells here next turn. We are still free spawning lots of stuff as well. Got all our sites here. I don't think La Mancha's going to attack us. I think we can probably clean up man pretty quickly. I think the assassins really caught him off guard in Villia earlier, and I think we broke his back pretty easily. Now that his god's dead, I'm not really afraid, to be honest. He probably can't even cast Flaming Arrows now, if he could have before. I'm feeling okay at the moment. Famous last words. But the units, if we get some good stuff out of Strange Bedfellows, we can move it over onto Villia and use that stuff to siege, or raid, or help in man. You know, we'll have lots of options. And then we've got these other raiding forces coming down. That all looks fine. So I'll end turn. That's turn 19. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Hello, welcome back. Research, we got a little bit of evocation done. That's up to 2. We can now do all of these 4 spells, if we so desire. I'll keep going for Red Tangle. Red Tangle doesn't seem a huge priority now because man doesn't seem to have much fight left in him. But it still might be useful. And Alteration 5 is really for globals, and we don't have any nature gems yet still, so can't really do anything with that. We cast both Agitate the Mire and Strange Bedfellows. Agitate the Mire works by triggering an event, and Strange Bedfellows works by enchanting a province so that it can trigger events. So you'll always see them as events, not as like spells. Battle in Crystal Fields next. There's a cave, same army. Into, I think this is province defense mostly. Why don't I have sound? Right, I can't hear any in-game sounds, so... But I assume... the levels look okay, I don't know. I have endless sound problems. Either way, this is a K versus some Sinos, mostly PD I think. We have lots of worms, lots of skeletons. Let's turbo through it. I think you can predict how this goes. I do enjoy watching the tidal wave of red tendrils. That was Crystal Fields. Oh, not mostly PD. So he's recruiting Sinos. When I played my man game, I recruited a lot of these guys as well. They're really good for sieging. Yeah, 2 siege strength. Come to think of it, we could probably use these guys on this nation too, so it's quite a nice pickup. Gained a new meatball, it looks like. Also raised another temple. Good. Events, so we got Old Forest. The Mire of Red Ooze produced 94 corpses. This is Agitate the Mire. And then we got our first ally thanks to Strange Bedfellows. Am I on the Night Conjurer Amarant? So the way this spell works is that there's all kinds of different things you can get from this. And sometimes you get individual commanders, and sometimes you get commanders with some units. In this case, I think this is a very, very large group of units. That's quite a nice one to get right off the bat. Enumeral, Redweed. Redweed is flourishing in Ionia. Followed up most of Hepa. We found a handful of magic gems in an abandoned graveyard. This is interesting. The defenders of the fort in Villia are repairing it faster than we can tear it down. So I assume that means there are actually still people in it with siege defense. I thought it would be like actually empty. And then 5 terrified peasants were promoted in Crystal Fields. I recruited a few more alright, these are horrified ones. So you levy terrified ones, but you can recruit horrified ones. Anywhere you have Dominion, you can recruit horrified peasants. But if you levy terrified ones, they turn into horrified ones. I don't know if I've actually clicked on the unit before, but that's what they look like. The terrified ones have a slightly different description. Do I have any left? Yeah. So these are the terrified ones. Yeah, so that's it for messages. So a few things to look at. Let's start with the throne. Earth. Give some earth gems. Blessed troops get reinvigoration. Boosts ritual range. Allows you to recruit gnomes. What a great unit. Nice throne. Strange Bedfellows produced this guy. So all of the allies that you can get through Strange Bedfellows all have their own reasons for worshipping the Entwining Arms. The Knights Amarant are the grimdark fuckers. And he came along with a retinue of these guys, who are basically just half undead soldiers. These guys aren't really anything special. The other nice thing about the Bedfellows allies is that they can go up to level 4 in their paths. So your adepts can go up to 3 in their paths. Everything you can pull out of the Bedfellows enchantment can possibly go up to 5, up to 4. So these guys can potentially be either Astral 4, Death 4, or Blood 4. I think they might actually have fire access as well. So they're really good all around, but you're only going to get one each turn. And there's no guarantee you'll get a good caster. This guy's pretty good all around. You can use this as a thug or all kinds of stuff. It leads tons of undead troops. So in terms of movement this turn, still doing the same stuff, picking up worms with all the acolytes, moving scouts through this region. See a build-up of troops here and here. His god is back in this fort. Probably doesn't bode well for us, sitting his god on our border. We might just be trying to get rid of Dominion though, I don't know. Amusingly enough, we lost so much Dominion in Robberhome that we can no longer recruit Wildman, which is interesting. I guess this aggressive temple pushing is doing its job. So not much else to say around here. This is all just business as usual stuff. Over here we were left with 21 corpses this turn, which is good. We're going to agitate the Mara again, keep building up corpses here, feed these worms. The Knight Amarant plus the Acolyte with the Cadaverous Redworm colonies, they're going to move on to the fort now. Guys that were in Kareen, we're also going to move on to the fort now. Since there are actually defenders on this, he might break siege, thinking it's just this crap here. And so it will actually be this crap here, and so hopefully that'll fight him off quite well. The Knight Amarant can do Horde of Skeletons, all the Acolytes can bless him, and the worms can walk forwards as usual. That should be okay. We'll keep loading stuff onto this fort and then dispersing it through his territory to take it before any of his neighbours do. Really weird thing about this province I just took is that when I opened the recruitment screen, it already had stuff in it. Like it had units queued up. And when I hit, and the commander points were on 0, even though there wasn't a commander queued up. So I cancelled all that recruitment and got gold back. I'm wondering if this is going to be another like weird bug and it's going to say I hacked next turn, which would be quite funny. But it was just very odd. I've never conquered a province before and had stuff in like pre-recruited. It was as if like it kept man's recruitment orders. It even had the repeat recruitment box ticked, which is very strange. I might have to check that on all the provinces I conquer from now on. I don't want to be wasting gold on pointless units. But the big army is just going to continue on to man now. And that's about it for this turn. Not much else going on now. Army still looks like this. Got 11 meatballs again. Oh right, I did pass some... I didn't even realise that there was a lab in this province, so we didn't even need to carry gems. Once we conquered it, we can just give as many death gems as we want to our assassins. So they each have 3 death gems. They'll be doing a Horde of Skeletons assassinations in this fort. I think you only need scale walls to assassinate outside your own siege fort, right? Like these guys don't need scale walls to assassinate a fort that I have under siege, do they? I guess we'll find out, but I don't think they do. All my kinders are spies as well, so sitting on man's cap will give us some info, which would be nice. Yeah, that's it for this turn. That was 10:20, thanks for watching. These videos are getting a bit long because I keep explaining stuff, but that'll be over now since the next spell I'll have to explain will probably be Ecomorphosis. Yeah, anyway, thanks. See you in turn 21. Hello, welcome back. This is what we call a learning turn. A learning turn means that there'll be loads of comments under the video explaining to me how the game works. It's okay, I have learned. You don't have to do that, but you will. First things first, we got research. Evocation is now 3. What does that give us? I haven't actually looked. Shadowbolt, Sleep Cloud. We can do all this stuff. Not so much this stuff though. Keep going. Rectangle. Kill the target. Outer throne has been claimed by Chairface. Agitate the mire. Search for sites. Still no sites. Having not much luck finding magic sites. Battle in Man. Not much going on in Man. Just some province defense. So, probably guess how that goes. Lost 3 colonies. Killed the province defense. Events. Old Forest. 127 corpses this time. That's quite nice. And our new friend from Strange Bedfellows is Vilgo the Madman. This is not a very good event. This is possibly the worst. So that's a nice counterpoint to the previous turn. I'll show him off in a moment. Redweed. And in Summerland's heavy autumn rains cause a landslide, revealing a buried cache of magic gems. Lost a scout in Kazia's territory. A lot of stuff going on there. Finished our fort in Robberhome. Started to destroy the fort in Man. Walls are moderately damaged. That's a 500 health fort though, so that's probably going to take a while. And in Villia we're back to damaging the walls, thankfully. And 5 terrified peasants were promoted in Man, which is always nice to hear. Okay, so this turn, first things first, what have I learned? Well, first things I've learned is that you can't actually see Man's graphs just by having a spy on their cap. That must be what that infiltrate capital command is for. And we cannot infiltrate because we're sieging. So the spies don't do anything. Okay, that's the first thing I've learned. Secondly, I've learned you cannot assassinate into a sieged fort. Right? No command. Okay, so I learned the 2 things. I know some of you probably paused the video immediately last turn in order to leave me a comment telling me that yet again I don't know how to play this game. It's okay. You can delete the comment, it's fine. I've learned, alright? So this turn, we're just maintaining siege with some people. Interestingly, you can summon allies, so I'm doing that just to get some more siege strength. It's not very much, it's maybe like 5 a turn. It's not like these are very good units, but I'll do that with the mouth. The spies are going to move off. They're going to look for other forts, just in case there's any other forts around here. And if there are, well, then we'll assassinate in that province instead. Interestingly, if we conquer Man's territory, we might be in a good position to crush La Mancha from both sides, which would be quite cool. That's something to think about. So that's what's happening here. I am going to begin taking these provinces now. I'm sending out all of the just smallest red worms to start taking these provinces. I'm sending 2 commanders with the worms, so we'll take this province and then we'll split them up and take both these provinces after that. That should be fine. I'm not going to talk about grey arrows anymore because they're not important. You get the sense of what the acolytes are doing. They're either scouting people or moving worms. This big grey arrow is the exception. This is a mouth. I'm going to move him down. He's going to cast Exogenesis in the Crystal Fields because I think that would be quite good. And then he can also help levying peasants to help with sieges. Because we don't really have much siege strength. That's what he's doing. This is widescreen TV with your boss on it. In Old Forest, I'm going to agitate the mire again because we still have enough death gems. We're on 57 corpses here, feeding the worms nicely. And oh yeah, we got a Madman this turn. This is just the Madman, it's not a modded unit, it's the same Madman from the base game, so he is 50% insane. And he came with a bunch of horrified peasants from some dreadful alternate reality where things are not working out very well. Since he's insane 50%, he might not make it. I might not be able to move him next turn, but the theory is he's going to move on to Villia and help siege it. And if he does go insane next turn, well then the mouth can pick up those units, that's fine. Other than that, not much else happening. Not really doing any spells or anything. I'll just check. Doing agitate again. And that's it. So just maintaining these sieges, and then as we move units down, we'll conquer all these provinces. And if we find another fort, I'll start assassinating And that's it for this turn. Discord has begun discussing whether or not red worms are balanced. To be fair though, I don't think man really was in a good position to fight them. But I don't know. I'll put up the Discord messages on the screen so you can see the discussion about red worms. They're pretty good. They don't look like much is the thing. When you look at the individual units. They start with 6 hit points. That was turn 21. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.